Welcome to the next lab session on computer networks. Myself, Madhu Nagaraj, Assistant Professor, Department of CSE Data Science. So the next program that we are going to discuss is program 5, that is developing a program to implement a sliding window protocol in the data link layer. So first of all, what is this sliding window protocol? So sliding window protocol is a method to transmit the data on a network. So mainly when you want to transmit the data in a network, so this is one type of protocol that is used or it is applied in the data link layer of the OSI model in order to transmit the data. So here in the data link layer, all the data will be in the form of frames. So in each layer, we represent the data in the different forms. So in data link layer, it is represented in the form of frames. So in networking, so whenever we talk about the window, so that means it is like a buffer or a space where it can hold how many number of data or how many number of frames at a time that needs to be transmitted. For example, if the window size is 5, so at a time 5 frames can be transmitted. So window mainly refers to a buffer. So here both sender and the receiver will be having the buffers or the windows, and the size of the buffer or the window will be decided by both the sender and the receiver. So if the sender has the size of W, then the receiver will also wait for the receiving W number of frames, and also the sender will be waiting for the acknowledgement of the first frame. So now as soon as the sender will receive the acknowledgement, so it is replaced by the next frame that is to be transmitted. So once it receives the acknowledgement, that means the data or the frame is successfully transmitted. So now if the sender will send all the collective or all the acknowledgement together to the sender, then it understands that more than one frames are properly received. So that means if 1, 2, 3 acknowledgement is set together, that means all the 3 are received together. Or for example, if the acknowledgement of frame 3 is received, it means that frame 1 and 2 are also properly received. So that is what is done in the sliding window protocol. So let's see how it is implemented. So first we have the different variables. So where it stores the number of frames. First we are going to enter the window size, like how many number of frames can be hold at a time before transmitting. So that is the size, and it will be stored in the variable W. Next, you are going to enter the number of frames to be transmitted. So the window size is different and the number of frames that is to be transmitted is different. So here the number of frames to be transmitted will be stored in the variable F. Now you are going to enter the frame number. So that is which frame you want to transmit. So that frame number will be entered. So the loop will run and it will read all the frames. So next we are going to display this statement. So with the sliding window protocol, the frames will be sent in the following manner. So here we are assuming that there will be no corruption of any of the frames. So we are assuming that all the frames that are sent will be received at the receiver. So no frames are corrupted. So that is what we are assuming. So after sending the number of frames, that is percentage the frames at each stage, sender waits for the acknowledgement sent by the receiver. So the W value, whatever we have taken, so that will be printed. So the for loop will run from 1 to F, that is the number of frames we have mentioned here. So enter the number of frames to transmit. So till that many number of times the for loop will run. And each time the I value is modulously divided with W, and if the value is 0, then we are going to print the frames. Acknowledgement of above the frames is received by the sender. So if it is not divisible, then that number will not be taken. So else the acknowledgement of above frames is received by the sender. So we are going to calculate it and we are going to display how many number of frames or which are the frames that are received by the receiver. So here, this is the output. So enter the window size. So the window size is 3, and then it will ask enter the number of frames to transmit. So I will say 5. So that means I want to transmit 5 frames, but the window size is only 3. So when I enter the frames in the order, so assuming that none of the frames are corrupted, so first you can see only 3 will be received. So because the frame size is only 3, so the first 3 will be received. So acknowledgement of the above frame sent is received by the sender. Next, again, the remaining two will be sent. Then acknowledgement of the above frames is received by the sender. So if at all the frame size is 2, so the same thing will be displayed as 1, 2 will be sent first, next 3, 4, and 5 will be acknowledged at the last. So since the window size is 3, so 3 frames will be sent first, and next the remaining frames will be sent. So this is how so as the name indicates, sliding window. So after sending the first 3, the window will slide to the remaining 2. So how many number of frames are there? So based on that, the window will slide to the next frames after the acknowledgement of the first set of frames are sent and received. So this is how the sliding window protocol works at the data link layer, where the data is mainly represented in the form of frames, and windows where mainly it acts as a buffer to store the number of frames that is to be transmitted. Thank you.